G'day riders, this is Mr. Kiwi Rider. We're on holiday at the moment. We've decided to come down here to McIver Veitch and do some demo rides. I'm really excited because I get to ride the 2020 Low Rider S, the new Softail version. The Dyna version a few years ago I really fell in love with. I just really like the look of the bike. This has got a 114 engine. The shop's done a bit to it. They've put S&S types on it. I believe they've given it a tune as well. There's also forward controls on this one, so I'm really excited just to get out there and just give it a try. Let's get to it, eh?
First thing I notice is that they've got this bike breathing right. They've changed the pipes out, they've changed the air cleaner and given it a tune. It's responsive and it's got some pickup. I like the ride position currently. That remains to be seen how it is after a longer ride. We're just going to head over to a local car park to get some footage of the bike and give a few initial thoughts.
So the first thing I noticed about this bike compared with the street bob and the way that I've got the street bob set up with the drag bars, the arm position was a lot higher and my hands are way further in with these narrow T-bars. I actually really liked it. I felt like it was a really nimble bike, able to move side to side really easily. Sometimes with my bike with the wide drag bars, it does feel like the turn is a lot wider. The seat is really comfortable, the gel seat, and with the forward controls, which I love, I don't think I'd ever go back to mids. They're just really uncomfortable for me. This bike is just a really enjoyable ride position. Yeah, this just a beautiful bike. Love the kind of club style. From a biker point of view, you know, you've got that badass look and it feels badass to be riding on it, blacked out. So yeah, we're just gonna head out to the open road and see what this bike feels like.
I really like how they've set this bike up straight out of the box. Obviously the long pipes they've got on it are really there so that they'll pass the emissions test, but you know, and you're obviously going to change up the pipes. But straight out of the box, this bike looks really good. That Californian club style, the small fairing, the tank's almost lifted. It's got a lifted look to it. The mags, love the mag wheels, and the color of those wheels. It's a bit different than it was on the Dyna Low Riders. I really like this one. It seems a bit deeper. If I owned this bike, I think I would have to set these bars up differently. They're just a bit too far forward for me, and at this point my back, I can feel a bit of fatigue, probably a bit of pain setting in my back. Part of it could be getting used to the ride position, but no, I think if I owned this I'd have to get some risers that brought these bars back just a little bit. One of the noticeable differences between this and the street bob is the position of the speedo. I've noticed that I have to look down a lot further to see both the speed and also whether my indicator's still on, what gear I'm in. With the street bob, the display is right there, you just need to glance down, but with this it's a full-on head movement. So that would take some getting used to. I'm just going to stop and switch out the camera. I'm going to put the camera on Mrs. Kiwi Rider's helmet. So I'm going to see if I can tell you 3 pros and 3 cons for the 2020 Low Rider S, just based on the ride that I've had today. Con number 1, certainly on this bike anyway, the bar position is too far forward for me. I'm really feeling fatigued in my back. Con number 2, the instruments are really quite low down, so to get a good read of them you have to look down. There's been a couple of times when I thought I need to look down, but I hope that what is going on in front of me on the road doesn't change. Hopefully a car doesn't put their brakes on really quickly. I felt a little bit uncomfortable with that. Con number 3, the fact that out of the box this bike has mid controls. Now I started with mid controls on the Street Bob and quickly came to know that I was not a mid control kind of person. Just didn't do well on my hips, and riding for a long period of time it was just uncomfortable. 3 pros. Pro number 1, this bike in my opinion looks shit hot out of the box. As I say, I'm really taken by that club style. Pro number 2, the Softail frame. So I ride a Street Bob, it's a Softail, the ride, really, really good. Pro number 3, the stock seat is incredibly comfortable. When I got my Street Bob, it had a tiny little seat with barely any padding in it. It was like sitting on a bench, and it was probably about a half-hour seat. Whereas this, you can just tell that this nice padded solo seat that comes on the Low Rider S is a comfortable seat, and I could ride for a few hours on this, I think. We're just going to hit up a favourite little road of ours called 3 Mile Hill. Going both up and down it has its own joys. There's lots of twisties, lots of tight corners, so always a fun ride. Let's see what this girl can do. Loving it. It pulls, it's got some pull. Nimble and swift into these corners. If money was no object, I'd definitely own one of these bikes. Overall, this is a great bike. It's fun to ride. Obviously, like any bike you get, you're going to want to customize it to your tastes. The brilliant thing about Harley-Davidson, plenty of options to customize it. But straight out of the box, this bike is good. But you're definitely going to want to set it up how you want it. And the options are there. Yep, beautiful bike. Love this ride. Catch you next time, folks.